Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we are going to be talking about some stuff today that if you're I think a beginner knife collector, a novice, or an expert knife collector, these are some of the things I think you should have in your repertoire. And I'm hoping to impart a little bit of information and help you decide what to kind of add there. And it's just things I think that you should have. And each one of them on themselves is just a little bit too small to kind of dedicate one whole video to one thing. So I thought I'd kind of group them together. And basically what it is, it's knife collecting liquids, and we'll have a look at that. And of course, the most important liquid is you got to have your coffee. If you're a knife guy, you're a coffee guy. All right. So before we head down there, don't forget to hit the old subscribe button as well as the like. It helps with some sort of YouTube algorithm thing. I'm just an old man, so I have no idea what it does. Other than I get really warm and fuzzy when I see lots of likes and I see lots of subscribers. So help me out with that by smashing the old subscribe button as well as the like. So let's head to the tabletop and let's have a look at these things. All right. So what I want to kind of talk about here is it's a new lube that I ended up bringing in. That's one of the things. And there's some other things here. We've got a diamond emulsion. We've got Blue Lube cleanser, Smith's honing solution, as well as just gonna have a look at this buck honing oil, and of course isopropyl alcohol, and then I've got this great little device here too, which is a precision spout oiler. So, and then we've also got here some Rit dye. So let's kind of go over this stuff here a little bit one-on-one. And hopefully it helps you decide something, or helps you add something into your collection that you thought, oh, geez, I needed that. All right, so here we go. This is actually Kershaw, and they call it Kershaw Knife Oil or Care Oil. I couldn't find a whole lot of information about this on Kershaw's website, and I emailed them for an MDS sheet or an SDS sheet to find out what was going on, and they haven't come back to me yet, but no big deal. I ended up picking this up from a place called Cutting Edge Cutlery here in Calgary, Alberta, at the North Hill Shopping Center. Seemed like wonderful guys. We sat there and BS'd about knives for the longest time, and look, if you're a knife guy and you've discovered a new knife store and you talk to other knife guys, it's like a big warm hug, and that's how it was. They've invited me on their little, they have a YouTube show called The Pokey Factor, which is, I guess, every Sunday live, and they just talk about the goings-on and the happenings of the old knife land around the world here. So don't forget, I will put a link down in the description to go check out the Pokey Factor on Sundays, and one of these days I might join them, and the only reason I haven't yet is because Sundays is my family day, and it's really tough to tell my wonderful, beautiful family that, hey, get the hell out of here, I gotta talk about knives for an hour. So one of these days I will. But anyways, let's go on here with this Kershaw oil. And the one things I did discover about this Kershaw oil is it's non-toxic, but they say even though it's non-toxic, it's not good to eat, so they're not calling it food safe. But I mean, if you did put it on a knife and they saying it's non-toxic, I'm sure you're gonna be all right. You're not gonna wake up the next morning with a horn growing out of your elbow or anything like that. It is really got a little bit thick, and it's kind of a milky consistency too as well, and I think it works excellent. Now they say that it treats the oil at a microscopic, or treats the metal at a microscopic level, which fills in the little pores, which smooths it out. Now that is very similar to, it's called OCM2 technology that I used to work for, but I actually think that there is a smidge of PTFE in there. As you can see that it's got, I'm not sure if you can tell, but it looks like it's got a little bit of a milky consistency, and it is kind of on the thicker side. So the penetrating capability on some of these knives that are really tight tolerances, it may not, creep in there like some of the thinner nano lube, but I have to tell you, it hangs around. It's not easily washed away, and I think it does a really fantastic job. And if it does have PTFE in it, let me wipe my hands. If it does have PTFE or Teflon, little tiny Teflon flakes, if the oil gets torn away, there is some Teflon left on the metal, so you're not going to really have just straight metal on metal contact. I think this is something that's worth buying for sure, especially if you're a knife guy. I think the Kershaw website, it's around $12. I paid $17 at Cutting Edge Cutlery Co. And I think that's on the max side. I mean, I think this is a, a $12, $13 bottle of oil. And you know what, damn it, guys at Cutting Edge Cutlery Company, when I go there, I only want to pay $12. Now, if they listen to me, they will. If not, they'll probably just tell me to go pound salt. Go pound sand. But definitely something to go check out, the Kershaw Care Oil. Get it from those fine folks at Cutting Edge Cutlery. They've treated me really fantastic, and I'm just joking a little bit. So I really do like this product. It's a great little new lube. Now, going back to the old lube, the reason I ended up bringing this out, and I ended up getting this at Ackland's Granger, and the reason I got this is not necessarily for the lube that's inside, because the lube that's inside is a really, really thin lube. And who actually uses this, whatever this lube is, it's just your average kind of petroleum-based thin lube, almost like a 3-in-1 oil, or like a real light oil with no additives into it. The reason I got this is because it's actually got a crazy spout to it. So it is like a precision oiler, as you can see that. I thought that was really, really cool. And these were on sale. I only paid $4 for these, and I bought 2 of them. And I mean, I'm going to try to use up the oil. I just don't see where I can use it up, but I'll try to use it up. But I really wanted this mostly to get this little cool spout on it, because there's nothing worse than trying to dip oil onto something that's just a little bit too, the tip is too thick, you're not getting it in there properly. And with this cool little, oiler here, you can oil from a distance. So I just thought it was really neat. And and that is a precision oiler, and telescopic spout reaches everywhere. 4 fluid ounces, and I'm going to try to invent my own little oil. I'm going to take some of the ones that I really, really like, and I'm going to build myself a little bit of a knife lube. And so that's why I got this. So hopefully before the year's out, you will find some Big Canucker lube happening. All right, so let's get off this clear table. Next thing I want to talk about is this. This is actually a diamond emulsion spray that I got off of YouTube. And if you are a knife guy and you're stropping your knives regularly, and if you've got, say the green or the white or the black or the red compounds, they've got different grits of what they're for. If you are not experiencing the edge after stropping with a diamond emulsion spray, I think that you're missing out. This is unbelievable what it can do for an edge. Now, truth be told, I actually ordered this out of a company, Enzo England, on YouTube, or sorry, not YouTube, on eBay. It was very expensive. It was only about $12 for this little bottle. The shipping was about $12 too. So I mean, it was a 20 plus bottle of diamond emulsion spray. But what I ended up wanting to get was actually CBN spray. It was cubic boron nitride. Just because I wanted to try it out. I've tried out diamond, and I have here some left here. It's called the Hand American spray, and it's excellent too as well. But I'm almost out of it, and I can't really find an inexpensive place to buy it, so I thought I'd give this a little bit of a try. Now, the difference between this diamond emulsion spray from this Enzo England is the fact that this is really, really gel-like. So I ended up using it on a strop that I just made, and when you actually spray it on there, you can see that it's really, really thick, and it doesn't run. So I actually sprayed it, and then I just kind of wiped it around like that. So a little spray covers a lot of area. And as you can see here, here's my I took this strop. It wasn't new. It had some other compound on it, but I ended up taking a set of sandpaper, and I ended up sanding the surface of this so it was completely, there was no compound on it whatsoever. And then I just took some of this, give it a little bit of a spray. I wiped it all on, and I've been stropping my knives, and it is diamond emulsion spray is the bomb. It leaves a really great toothy edge. That's that sticky sharp, and it's always hair whittling. You can get this diamond emulsion spray in 10 microns all the way down to 0.01 micron, I do believe, which is around 100,000 grit. I like to stake at 1 micron and up, because when I go below 1 micron, it seems like it gets sharp, but it doesn't keep that sticky sharp. And there's all these little tiny, and the reason I think that sticky sharp is is because there's little tiny, what do you call it, like little teeth in the edge. And that's what's kind of making that grab, I think. And the 1 micron, those teeth are really, really sticky, and I just love that feeling. And this is what I'm carrying today here, which is this fantastic little spy opera. I just can't get this out of my pocket. It's a great, great little knife. But I ended up getting this. It's got that really, really sticky sharp. And I've used this a few times. It was past sticky sharp. I stropped it off on this strop here, and bam, it was right back to being that sticky sharp again. So you know that if you've used your knife for a little bit, it will, you don't need to sharpen all the time. Just strop it with this diamond emulsion and you'll bring the edge right back, no problem. So let's get this out of the way here, and let's talk about another liquid here. Let's talk about here. This is a couple of honing solutions. Now, I normally don't use a lot of honing solutions because I just seem to like sharpening with my ceramic Spartico stones, that you don't need a honing solution, that you just need some water. But I do have some of the odd Arkansas stones that once in a while I'll give a sharpen with. And this Smith honing solution is the bomb. This particular kit here I bought just off of Kijiji, and you have to look for little deals like that. These 2 Arkansas stones are buck Arkansas stones from probably the late 60s, early 70s. And the Arkansas sharpening stones are actually, I think they're called vermiculite. And they are mined from a certain quarry in Arkansas, which is why they're called Arkansas stones. And the good stones are starting to be used up, or have been used up for a while. So a lot of the Arkansas stones that you're getting out of Arkansas right now are not the top quality ones. There are still top quality ones out there, but they're getting to be few and far between. So if you can find some old Arkansas stones, chances are you've got some great stones there. Don't throw them away. They're going to be worth something. And anyways, this one came with buck honing oil, which is horrible. This stuff is awful. It's really kind of sticky, and it's maybe because it's old, but it's petroleum based and it smells horrible. So hey, you might want to keep this just for the nostalgia of it, and that's the only reason I'm keeping it. I hate opening this because it stinks up my shop or my office, and it smells horrible. So buck honing oil, get the hell out of here. And then here we've got the honing solution by Smith's. And what I really like about this honing solution is it's non-petroleum based. And there is no real, it's not terrible for you. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't drink this stuff, but because it's non-petroleum based, it's not food safe because it doesn't say food safe, but it's just one of those things that if you happen to have one on you sharpen with a knife, you wipe it off and you cut an orange with it, you're not going to kill yourself. But the other thing here that it has is it's got, because lots of times, even though you've got diamond sharpening stones, they say you don't need to use lube with them. Lots of people will lube with water, and because those diamonds are put on a steel or a metal plate, they start to rust a little bit. This has got anti-rust inhibitors and anti-corrosion agents in it, and it also has stone cleaning agents too as well. So when you do use it, it will clean your stone too as well, which is something that I really think is awesome. Now, the other thing that I use this for is I use it for, on some of my real carbon knives, I'll actually just wipe a layer of this on there and I'll let it dry. And it just seems, because it doesn't stink whatsoever. Sometimes you get something that's a little too oily. And even though I don't live in an area where it's really, really moist, it is dry, I still put some of this honing solution. And I just basically wipe it on, let it dry, put it back in its sheath. And it's done me well so far. And that's mostly what I use it for. So Smith's honing solution, I think it's a great little honing solution. It doesn't stick, and definitely something that you should put in your case if you've got lots of Arkansas stones or lots of high carbon steel knives. All right, so let's put that aside. Now we've got here a product that I'm not too crazy about. This is actually the Blue Lube cleanser. And I'm not saying it does a terrible job, but I just don't really like the smell of it. It's petroleum based, it's a cleaner lubricant, but it's not like, it's not the crazy lubricant, right? It's there is, this is the better lubricant right here, which is the Benchmade Blue Lube lubricant, and this is the cleanser. So there's two different products from Benchmade. I'll put this aside because I have done a review on this one here, but it's just a great little lube in itself. But this Benchmade cleanser, I mean, it does okay. I mean, it's not really going to be so crazy that it's like, if you've got your regular old knife schmutz, it'll clean off, no problem. But when you get into that real heavy tape residue, I don't think it does a great job with it. And it's just something that you can probably do without. I happen to just want to grab some Benchmade Blue Lube. I went to the store. I said, give me some Benchmade Blue Lube. The guy grabbed this off the counter. I put it in my pocket, and I got all the way home in Lethbridge because I bought this in Calgary before I realized this wasn't what I wanted. And by that time, I had opened it and used it, and I just thought, I can't fault the guy for not having his reading glasses on, So I just basically kept it, and I would not buy this over again. Just my opinion, just because it smells. That's the biggest thing, and it doesn't. There are other things out there that will do a better job as far as cleaning. All right, so let's put that aside. All right, speaking of that, I think this does an absolutely fantastic job of cleaning, and it's isopropyl alcohol. And you see, Mr. Nick, because I worked for a company called Worth, and I had all sorts of crazy cleaners, which I still do. I use those to clean because, hey, I was selling them, I'm going to use them. But I no longer am working there because I'm going to be permanently disabled, so can't do the whole job anymore. So they said, hit the road there, Jack. And so I decided to invest in some isopropyl alcohol, and it does a fantastic job cleaning. You know what? It cleans, the stainless steel. It gets the knife schmutz off. It gets the tape residue off. That's what I really like, is the fact that it gets a tape residue off. It evaporates really, really quickly. So even though you don't, even though you're not going to be cleaning, a knife with it all the time, you can clean some other things with it. And I like the fact that it evaporates so darn quickly. So you can see here, and you can see that it's actually cleaning off the little yellow lines off my my little non-cut board here. But it basically evaporates so quickly, and it doesn't leave a residue. If you have a chance and you're going to look for this in the drugstore, get the stuff that is 99%, as much alcohol as you can, because you can get it in 70, you can get it in different levels. Get the as pure form as you can. It just works the better. It also evaporates faster too as well. So that's isopropyl alcohol. If you're a knife guy, you got to have that inside your collection. Now, a couple other things here too as well, just to kind of wrap this up for the liquids, is RIT dye. Now, you may not like the color of the knife when it gets to your drawer. And it could be, if it's stainless steel, well, it's stainless steel. But here, I have this one here, which is an FRN handle, fiberglass reinforced nylon, and it was great. It was boring, and I ended up dyeing it purple with this particular purple, and I think it did a fantastic job. It just sets the knife completely out, just like it changes the whole character of the knife just by changing the color. And RIT dye is so easy to use. Just follow the directions on the back. A little bit of dye, a little bit of vinegar, and some heat. And I think, Bob's your uncle. Dip it in, and you can actually. And I do have some videos on these RIT dye, using the RIT dye. Set a timer, because you may. The longer you leave it in the RIT dye, the darker or the more pronounced that color is going to be. So, what it looks like at 15 seconds may not be what it looks like at 2 minutes. So I always do is I check every 30 seconds. I set a timer for 30 seconds. I lift it out, let it drip a little bit. Okay, 30 more seconds. Okay, till I get the color. And then from there, I just go straight into the water and rinse it in cold water. And that seems to lock the color in. So the reason I have two of them here is you've got one here, which is an all-purpose dye, and you've got a synthetic dye. And I haven't had a chance to try this synthetic dye on G10 yet. There have been some G10 that have taken the dye like it's nobody's business, but there have been other ones that have been really tough to dye, and I don't understand why. And I've tried synthetic on or all-purpose dye on those turbo G10s. I haven't had a chance to try the synthetic, so perhaps the synthetic dye on some of these G10s that won't take it will be the key to dyeing it. But other than that, just really time, patience, and make sure that you are careful, because if you spill this stuff on, let's just say you spill it on a carpet, you are toast. There is no way that you are getting that out. So be very, very careful. Wear, if you don't want your skin dyed, make sure you wear gloves. And if you don't want your countertop dyed, make sure that you've got some cardboard or something so you don't hit your cardboard. And if you do, get to it as fast as you can. Otherwise, it's permanently purple or permanently blue or permanently whatever you're dyeing. All right, so that is just a little bit of the liquids that I think will help you out if you are a knife collector. I hope you had some fun learning some stuff here. I hope you did learn some stuff. And if there's anything that I didn't know or that I have left out, don't forget to leave that inside the old comments too as well, because I do appreciate you guys, because I learn as much from you as you guys do from me. So thanks so much for stopping by. Please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.